Hey everybody, Andrew Sloss with Sloss Career Coaching. I'm a certified professional career coach. Today I want to talk about what makes a good resume. So I have about 6 or 7 bullet points to cover. The first thing is you need to make sure that your resume has sections and title headers and clear layouts. Don't get creative, don't get fancy with your resume. Make sure that it's a very clean and clear layout. The one exception might be if you are a creative person in a creative industry, you might want to play around with the way that your resume looks because you are in that creative space and you want to kind of show off that creativity. But otherwise, don't get cute, don't get fancy, keep it clean, keep it clear. Number 2, you want to make sure that your resume follows like an F and an E pattern so that it flows accordingly and that you use bullet points for achievements. So you're going to want to write a really small summary about your general job duties at each position, but then you want to break that down into bullet points to highlight your achievements. And when you highlight your achievements, make sure that you can be as specific as possible and not general. So if in your position you help to increase revenue in the first quarter of 2022, don't just put that. How much did you increase revenue? Was it a percentage? Was it a dollar amount? If the dollar amount isn't high but the percentage is high, you might want to go with a higher percentage than the dollar figure, or vice versa. But the more numbers you can put on there to highlight your achievements, the more believable and the more readable your resume is going to be. Third is you want to make sure you include a professional summary at the top of your resume. I've seen way too many resumes that don't have that, and just boom, you're in it, you're someone's first name, and boom, the first thing you see is either education or the beginning of their work history. I want to see a professional summary. I want to see a little blurb about what you can do, what you have done, to kind of get me ready to read the rest of your resume. So professional summary is definitely something you need to include. Also, please make sure you're using clear fonts. Don't mess around with the fonts. Poppins, Helvetica, New Times Roman. Stick with the classics. Don't mess around with the fonts. I've seen some crazy fonts on resumes. Just stick with what's clean and clear. That way you don't mess around with your resume. Also, you want to make sure you don't mess around with the margins. Just use the standard margins on the resume. Don't shrink them down, and certainly don't widen them out because you don't want to cram too much information on a resume. I know it can be tempting. You're trying to get that resume down to 1 page or 2 pages, so you think, well, I'll just increase the margin a little bit and the sentences will pull up into a different line, and this will become a 2-page resume or 1-page resume just by tweaking the margins a little bit. But it's going to look off when a recruiter or HR person looks at it. They're going to realize it's off. They see resumes all day, and they're going to realize that something's off. And again, you don't want any reason for them to put your resume in the trash bin, right? You want them to keep it. So don't mess around with the margins. Don't get cute with the margins. Just keep the margins the way they are. And last but not least, if you're using keywords, you got to use the keywords in context. A lot of people will tell you, oh, well, if you just throw keywords in your resume, the ATS will pick them up and it doesn't matter where they are in your resume. But that's not true. You have to make sure that if you're trying to put keywords in your resume that match the job description, that those keywords are in context, that you're just not throwing them in there randomly. So they need to be in complete sentences that follow with your job descriptions and follow with your achievements. So make sure that you're doing that. So again, real quick, sections and title headlines, F and E pattern with bullet points for achievements, a professional summary, clear fonts, don't mess with the margins, and keywords in context. Until next time, catch you later.